If you ask 100 people about psychedelics, you'd most likely get 100 opinions based on their first-hand experience, strong condemnation, or stories from their adventures at Woodstock in the 60s. Today, I'm going to share with you what Dr. Dominick Sportelli, most often seen on the TV show The Doctor, said about using psychedelics as a treatment for depression. I found this fascinating because I myself am a skeptic. But before we dive in, hit subscribe. Click the link below to see just how unstoppable you are compared to 50,000 others, and stay tuned for my upcoming book, Mind Control: How to Biohack Your Mind, Weight, and Immune System through Nutritional Psychology and the Hidden World of Your Gut Microbiome. It's Ben Angel here, and I'll admit the talk of psychedelic therapy to treat depression makes me nervous for a multitude of reasons, which is why I reached out to an expert on the matter. In researching my book Unstoppable, I looked at key triggers that can mimic psychological disorders like depression and anxiety, such as inflammation, nutritional deficiencies, hormonal changes, side effects from medications, gut imbalances, and yes, even food sensitivities. The reality is, depression is complex. What works for one may not work for another. Any successful treatment must first identify the root cause of one's depression successfully, which can be a complex process if it's not done under the right medical care. A psychedelic treatment isn't suddenly going to fix a nutritional deficiency or even inflammation, for example. Regardless of my own personal opinions, I chose to set my own biases aside. So I asked Dr. Dominick Sportelli, board certified by the American Board of Neurology and Psychiatry for General Psychiatry, and is fellowship trained and board certified in Child and Adolescent Psychiatry. He's also specializing in human behavior and psycho-pharmacology. Dr. Sportelli enlightened me that of course not all psychedelics are the same. From the most researched psychedelics, LSD, psilocybin, MDMA, DMT, and ketamine, each have different mechanisms of actions. So you can't take one and determine it will work for your specific mental concern, or even give each person the same experience. So why is there now a resurgence in major studies with these mind-altering drugs? Well, the 40-year moratorium that closed down psychedelics research in the 70s is now coming to an end. Dr. Sportelli is cautiously optimistic, noting that hundreds of large university-based clinical trials utilizing prior research compiled decades ago are allowing for safe, credible, and substantial testing, since it used to be near impossible due to the bureaucracy to obtain approval for testing. Hundreds of clinical trials where psychiatrists are now beginning to realize the use of these psycho-pharmacological drugs are helping people with such mental disorders such as obsessive compulsive disorder, post-traumatic stress disorder, alcoholism, depression, and even cluster headaches. The question that I really wanted answering was, which types of depressions could psychedelics treat? Dr. Sportelli stated that research really hasn't determined the level of specific data to specify the type of depression or mood disorder the psychedelic therapy will benefit. He did share that the research and data are beginning to show statistically significant improved mood, reduced anxiety, change in positive personality traits over time, the possibility of reducing addictive behaviors, reduction in suicidal tendencies, and increased personal insight. But we have to understand that not all depression has the same triggers of onset. Dr. Sportelli clarified that depression is a mix of genetic, biological, neurological, psychological, and sociological factors that contribute to an individual struggling with a formal depressive disorder. He also stresses that the critical role that these drugs might offer in mood disorders is at the forefront of the pharmaceutical quest for a treatment. I became hopeful when he shared that with me, and also reassured when he said this: "We have never seen substances like these that can potentially change the way that we look at our life and change perspective with lasting results. Substances that possibly supercharge psychotherapy, with noted reports of personal insight that has not been seen in conventional current treatment." I, like Dr. Sportelli, am cautiously optimistic to know that there are dynamic studies looking at how we can affect mental health in our standards of treatment and get closer to therapies that can give us incredible results and help other individuals that any form of other treatment simply isn't working. I always caution, and you'll hear me say it repeatedly in my book Unstoppable, we must do whatever it takes to dig out the root cause of what our specific type of depression or mood disorder is, so an effective treatment plan can be designed. So the big question, where does one go for this type of treatment? Well, Dr. Sportelli said that at this time in the US, he only recommends treatment by part of and under close supervision of a university-based institutional review board monitored clinical trial, and before any treatment, the patient undergoes a full medical and neurological evaluation. With a little bit of research, you'll be able to find out where those clinical trials are actually being held. So, what are your thoughts on microdosing to help with the treatment of depression and other mood disorders? Post in the comments below, and remember, click the link below to see just how unstoppable you are compared to 50,000 others by taking our free 60-second quiz. The results are gonna surprise you. Take care, and I'll see you next time.